This is my new Kindle Fire, and this is the cover being shown on it of my book I did about a year ago with the title Naguib Mahfouz, 46 Years of Egyptian Cinematographics. Naguib Mahfouz is the late 1982 Egyptian Nobel laureate who was involved in the source material for the production of 72 films in Egypt. He was a screenwriter at times. At times, people made movies based on his books and short stories. He was quite a figure in the film business, but people outside Egypt know him mostly for his novels and short stories. I did this book because I have a big collection of posters, and I found that I either had or had ways to acquire posters and other materials for almost all of his 72 films. At the time I did the book, there was already a well-developed ebook market for things like the Kindle Reader, but the Kindle Reader was not available as a color device. And by the time it came out as the Kindle Fire, which does display color, I was on to other things and kind of not interested in the book too much. And then I saw an announcement that said there's an app that Amazon has released called Send to Kindle that would allow you to display your PDF documents on the Kindle or your WordPress documents or your Microsoft Word documents or anything. So I thought, well, why don't I try to put my PDF book on this and not have it be restrained by the reduced capacity of an ebook, which is made so much smaller to make it usable on a reader. So after a lot of experimenting, I finally did succeed in putting my 379 megabyte 199 page book on this Kindle Reader as a PDF document, not as an ebook. This actually required quite a bit of tinkering before I got it to work right, but I did succeed finally. And now I have my little book in a PDF file on the Kindle Reader. And the book consists of, that's a picture of Naguib Mahfouz that I took myself in 1990 at the Ali Baba Cafe in the famous place called Tahrir Square, where they had all these demonstrations last year. At that time it was just a big square, and this cafe was facing on it, and Mr. Mahfouz allowed me to take his picture. Very kind of him. And the book has an index, a table of contents, and posters for almost all of the 72 films involving his work. And in addition to the posters and summaries of the stories the films tell, I also listed the cast members and the printers and studios that produce the posters in each case. I've seen similar things that other people have done, but at this point my little collection is still the most complete that I have seen. The thing that I want to fix on this and make it, that's a picture of a press in an Egyptian print shop that is used to make posters. I want to get original copies of all the posters. Right now I have original copies of most of the posters, but there are certain instances, such as this one, which is the poster for the film They Made Me a Murderer, which is not the original poster for the film. But I couldn't get the original poster. I've seen pictures of the original poster, but I have never found one that I could photograph for use in my book, and that's something I want to do. I want to find the originals for these posters that I don't have. This is a press book for the same film, and I use press books too. Any graphics. This is a film ad for the film called The Gangs of Hosseiniya. That's a poster for that, also not the original poster. And this is the director of a lot of the early films that Naguib Mahfouz was involved in. His name is Salah Abu Saif, and he is famous as a realist film director, and also as he's famous for his socialist ideology that he believed in. But he thought that the realistic school of film was the best way to express his socialist ideas, and because of that, whether you agree with his socialist point of view or not, the realistic films that he made are very, very interesting. If you're a student of life, culture, and language of Egyptian society, which I am. This is a very nice original poster for the film Fool's Gate, 1954. Anyway, so that's the upshot of my brief encounter this weekend with the Kindle. What I'll be doing next is experimenting with, first of all, actually making a color ebook as opposed to the black and white ebooks I had previously, and also experimenting with maybe making some apps for Android devices, and which will also, of course, be usable on the Kindle. Stay tuned.